All right, so we're here with the Secret Canyon Dweller. We're gonna show you how to keep care of it once it's in place. If it's possible, if you have an air compressor, the best thing to do before you do any maintenance, which is gonna be waxing it eventually, but the best thing you could do would be to blow the layer of dirt and stuff off it. So you would have an air compressor with an air hose. You can see that you can get any dirt that's in the cracks and everything like that off of here. So you would want to blow it off with the air hose. As long as stuff was coming off, just keep blowing on it. If you don't have the air hose, we'll go right into the power washing. Okay, so I'm just about finished blowing it off. Another thing you could do is take your nylon scrub brush and kind of brush in the cracks while blowing it off. And this will just kind of bring out any dirt that was kind of stuck in the cracks and getting it ready for the washing. Now again, if you don't have the air, you can just go right to the power washing. It's just better to do it this way if you can. Okay, so we got the power washer set up. And normally you wouldn't even need to power wash something like this. You could probably just blow it off or wipe it off and wax it. But we want to be prepared for the salty sea weather. And what you don't want to do is wax it right over all that saltiness. So that's why before the piece gets waxed, you always want to make sure that you power wash all of that sea salt off of it first. Okay, so let's go for that. So it certainly wouldn't be a bad idea to scrub it with a nylon brush while you're power washing. So let's go over the entire piece like this. And then power wash over the top where you've scrubbed. Okay, so we got it all scrubbed with the nylon brush and power washed off, and now it's all wet. It's best, if you can, of course, to do this on a sunny day, but obviously not if it's raining. Beautiful day here in Arizona. But another good idea after this is, while it's all wet, to take a towel and go ahead and just scrub it down with a towel or two. And kind of rub the surface while drying it. This will get off any excess salt and anything that's left on there to make sure that it's a nice surface for the waxing. So we'll go over the whole thing like this and dry it off with the towel, and then it's going to need to be basically left to air dry completely. Or if you've got the air, like we said earlier, you can take your air hose, and after you're done with the toweling, you can dry all the cracks out perfectly with the air hose. If you don't have the air hose, let it dry, hopefully in the sun or whatever, and then when it's dry, we can apply the wax. Okay, so we've let the piece dry completely, and it's even warmed up in the sun, which is even better for the waxing. We've got Johnson's paste wax, which you can just buy at your local hardware store, and a 2-inch chip brush. So we'll open up the wax. So the key is you just don't want to apply it too thick. But basically just start somewhere where you can remember where you left off, and we'll apply a thin coat over the entire piece. You can see with the warmth of the sun, and it's about 72 degrees out here today, but you can see with the warmth of the sun, this will kind of melt right on and cover the piece. And what we're going to do is just go over the entire thing like this. Okay, so you can see we've waxed the entire piece. When the wax dries, it'll kind of get this flat, non-shiny look. The best plan would now be to let it dry until morning when the sun hasn't hit it and it's cool and the wax is all dry, at which point we'll buff it up with an old sock is the best thing. So we'll let this dry for a while and then show you the buffing. Okay, so you can see it's all shined up now. We pushed it out of the sun and let it dry till the wax was totally dry, and then buffed it up with an old sock so that the whole piece is nice and shiny. Now it looks pretty much like it did the day it left here, and that's all that it takes to protect it. You know, obviously when you can't move it, you got to do like I said, you got to let the sun go down probably, and then buff it first thing in the morning before the sun heats it up, and it gets nice and shined up, and that should protect it. If you're by the sea, you probably would be best off doing this at least twice a year. I mean, you could do it more if you want, but I would do it at least twice a year to make sure that the salt water doesn't start affecting it. So, there we go.